All right. Good evening. This is week one of the purification journey. We have our live class on Monday night, and we have you tonight. So tonight we're going to go through what happens on a purification, the why, the what, the when, and we will meet weekly, same time, same place, hopefully without all the little things happening here. So when we look at this program, it's designed for 21 days. I like a 28-day program, but it's easier to do 21 days. And we do 21 days for a couple of reasons. Number one, it takes 21 days to change a habit. And most importantly of all, this to me is a great way to begin a new lifestyle. I'm not a diet person. I think we have to create a lifestyle that we need for us. And I think that makes it fit into your daily thing. So it's not a challenge for you. We've all done it. We've all had the holidays and we're paying for that. And we're allowed to, celebrate with food and drink, but I want to teach you a different way to do that. So I saw what everybody ate on Facebook, so I know what needs to be cleaned up. And your livers were all must have been evil because you really punished them well. And we punish them with sugar and alcohol, of course. And that's just happens over the holidays. So these are some of the things that we like to learn during that. And it's like really modifying your current lifestyle to create a new normal for you. So once we're done with the program, you'll be able to add some things back in, but I want to create a new normal for you. So we're going to have some supplementation we take during the 21 days. I'll explain that tonight. And, I'm showing you some different ways to use a cookbook. If you didn't get the email that has the link for the purification cookbook, let me know and Marianne will get it to you. The chat button, just drop your chat in there and we'll answer those at the end. So we wanted you to become a master at making a good shake. And we really want to understand your exercise, how exercise is going to help with that journey. So week one, keep calm, and we're going to eat clean. So we don't want to shock your body too badly. So we kind of gently move you into this. But this first week is really important because here's the why. When our liver's not working properly, we are, exposed to maybe 80,000 chemicals, and that's just registered in the US. And many of these chemicals are really affecting our endocrine system, our immune system, our nervous system, and our reproductive system. So we really want to work to correct all that. We are exposed to 80,000 chemicals. Like I said, over 800 million pounds of pesticides are in our foods that we eat. And if you're feeding the cattle grains that are genetically modified, you are what they ate. So this is really important. There are 167 industrial chemicals that are found in people's blood and urine that are not even in those industries. So we're getting glyphosate, which is what is Roundup, because they tell the farmers, hey, if you kill your wheat with Roundup first, it won't mold. But we're the ones that are eating that, and we're the ones that are exposed to that, and we get the effect of that. And now they have a test to test my patients for glyphosate. And I just don't do it because it's just going to be too scary. I scare them enough as it is. So if that's a test you want, certainly you can do that. But this is why we do this program. This is the very reason why. So I'm going to teach you about choices. And, we all have a choice. And this sounds terrible. I always say this and preface this that whatever you put in your mouth is either an act of nutrition or an act of suicide. I know that's harsh, but that's the reality. So we all have choices to make. So I want to teach you to make better choices. So when we have those toxins into our body, we have toxins that come in exogenously and endogenously. And we have an amazing body to do all this, to take care of. And we actually have a system in our body that does take care of it. But we have toxins that affect our health. And we're talking about fatigue, some digestive issues, food cravings, weight gain, reduced mental clarity, low libido. Those are all factors of that. And we live in a chemical and toxic environment. Think about air and water pollution. We're lucky to not have the water pollution in Florida, but some of my, folks that don't live here suffer from that. Cigarette smoke. And I will say, even if you're not cigarette smoking, if you smell smoke around you, if you're driving in your car and you can smell that somebody's smoking a cigarette, you're breathing that in. If you can smell it, you're getting it. Personal care products. Our hairsprays, our nail polishes, our toothpaste, all those things affect our body. Heavy metals, household cleaning products, look at what you use, pesticides, insecticides, pharmaceuticals. If you're taking a lot of pharmaceuticals, prescription medication, Your liver has to process all that. I'm not telling you to go off of them. I'm just saying that we have to manage the liver and give it a good start. Preservatives and additives in our food, trans fats in foods, and many more. So we look at all these things here, that we're exposed to, and our body has to have a way to fix that. Well, it does. We have organs that actually assist in that purification process. Our liver does it. Our kidneys do it. Our small intestine does it. Our large intestines do it. So we have a fantastic system to do that. The problem is it just was never designed to do what it needs to do with all the toxins we load up on it. So we have a process in our body called a metabolic detoxification. Now I teach this as an 8-hour class to my doctors. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to boil it down to 3 simple phases. Phase 1, very important phase. Our liver naturally does this. Phase 1, our body breaks those toxins down. The problem is that phase 1 actually makes those toxins more toxic. Then phase 2 comes in and makes those more toxic chemicals in our body more water soluble. So then phase 3 can cause the elimination. So it's really important, but we get put into a phase 1. Sometimes we don't kick into that phase 2 well enough. So we have those toxins that have now multiplied and are more toxic. So you can see the dilemma our body has. So we do this as a way to really give our body a fresh start. I do it twice a year. I do it in January because it's a great time to do it. There's nothing going on. We don't have any things going. We're going to finish before the Super Bowl. All the bowl games will be done. And they start anyway after I'm finished. And you can make your healthy snacks. And then I do it again in October, at the beginning of my birthday. My birthday's the 22nd, so I always start October 1st. So I finish my new year entering it as a lean, clean teaching machine. And here's the liver. So you can see the toxins come in phase 1. The enzymes make toxins more toxic. Phase 2 then makes them water soluble. Phase 3 then eliminates them. And we eliminate through breath, through your kidneys, through urine, through excretions of feces, also through the lymph system. So we have a couple different modes that do. Kidney does priority of that. So that's why we'll look at, when I do a blood panel on you, we're looking at what the kidney's doing, what the livers are doing. And I mean, I've seen some really miraculous things happen with this. So it's pretty cool to see what happens. So these are the things we kind of battle: the monosodium glutamate, high fructose corn syrup, your trans fats, and your sugar. And each week I'll take one of those things. I'll take sugar next week, and we'll talk about the why. Because I think for me, as humans, if we understand the why, we're more likely to do something. If we don't know why, then what does it really matter? The next week, we'll talk about different fats. I call it the fats of your life, the trans fats and the good fats, and get you started. And the last week, we'll go into creating a new lifestyle for you, what to do after the program. So here's what we're eating. The U.S. the FDA allows 3,000 chemicals to be added to our foods. The average American consumes almost 75 pounds of sugar annually. And if I'm not consuming that, somebody's consuming my share. So I'm telling you the number is much higher. And these are some of the 2020 results here. And they say that sugar contributes an average of 16% of the total calories in our American diet. I disagree with that. I think it's much, much more. That's why they call it a SAD diet. A standard American diet is a SAD diet, and it is truly sad. So when we look at this is data here from the FDA, and this is how scary this is. This is what the substances are that are added to food, and they are called GRAS, meaning generally recognized as safe. The first one on the list, carnauba wax. We all know what carnauba wax is for. That's what you wax your car with. Ethylene glycol. What is that? Antifreeze. So we have things like gummy bears. Well, I always tell the story in class, and since Marianne's on, and I can tell it, and she can't really talk back. She loved organic gummy bears, and she was so proud she found gummy bears, and so that was like her thing she would do before a detox. And I'm like, yeah, they're organic, but they still have stuff in it. She goes, no, they don't. So she pulls the wrapper out, and she's like, you ruin everything. But why did they put carnauba wax in there? to make it shiny. So maybe it cleans the intestines on the way out. I'm not really sure, but it's in our foods, and the FDA says yes, it's okay to do that. Ethylene glycol, that's your antifreeze. Guess what it's in? Ice cream. You know why it's in ice cream? So it's easier to scoop. I mean, if you watch Dateline, you know what they use antifreeze for. And I worry about you, okay? So that's what we're worrying about. We're dealing with. We're dealing with real food versus fake food. And really, it's to reintroduce real food back into your diet. The picture on the left is a picture when we went to Mexico. It was awesome. This was in the market. This is where they go shop the veggies. I mean, we don't have that. I wish we had that. We have the market on the right. And that looks like somebody's, hurricane preparation kit there, which is gone before the hurricane ever happens. All guilty of it. I know we are. So if you're local and can come into the office, come in and we'll do the body composition on the in-body. If you're not local, look for an in-body 570 near me. That's where you want to look at, and I'll show you a picture what it does, but that'll tell complete body composition of body weight, body fat, your body, your muscle, your bone. So it gives us a really good idea of that. So there's a big calculation you can do, but here's a chart so you can kind of see where you are height-wise. So I'm 5'4", and I'm in the 130 range, so I'm at like a 21, 22 BMI, and that's where we want to be. When we look at, let me go back here. When we look at this, normal BMI is 18.5 to 24.9. If you're overweight, it's 25 to 29.9, and over 30 is considered obese. And nobody likes to hear that, but unfortunately, it's the truth. Now, there are indications where it's not accurate, and one of you know who I'm talking about, where, especially on my males who work out, they have, it's a body weight, which is a weight and a height and a coefficient form. It doesn't take into consideration what is muscle and what is fat. So we have that to deal with. And when we look at that, we're looking at the whole picture. So I think that a whole body composition is much more accurate. So here's a picture of the in-body, maybe. There we go. So it looks like this. And so we measure with intracellular water and extracellular water, and that's your lymph, your organs, your blood, the urine in your body, anything that your muscles are 75% water. All that makes up your total body water. Your dry lean mass on the sheet is actually your bones. So we take the dry lean mass and add it to the total body water, which gives you your lean body mass. And then the bottom one is throwing the fluffy stuff on, and that gives us our total body weight. So looking at this, you can see down on the muscle to fat relationship, you see the down arrow and you see the up arrow. These are that we want you to be more in this range here. So this person's weight is good. This SMM is your skeletal muscle mass, and that is really good. I don't mind if this is higher, as long as the body fat mass is in a good range. And when we look at the BMI, you can see his BMI is good, and his percent of body fat is a little bit low, which is okay. But for women, we want to be 28% or less, and for men, we want to be 20% and less. 18% is what ideal is. On the right-hand side, you can see this person. The beauty of this in-body 570 is that it measures the fat in your right arm, the fat in your left arm, your trunk, your right leg, your left leg. Also, the real important is visceral fat. That's your belly fat. That's the deadly fat. And that's the congested liver is what gives us that belly fat. So it gives us a way to measure that. Ideally, we want it under 10. When we look at the bottom half of the page here, you can see that it shows the right arm and the left arm, the right leg, left leg, and the trunk, the muscle mass. And you can see all those are in the good area and a little bit more than that. And I don't mind if those are better. The other beauty of this is, in the next little place right here, this measures inflammation. I don't really deal with that a lot on this. We're really worried about the body composition. And then it just tracks it every time that patient comes in. So ideally, if the weight management patient needs to lower their weight, we want to see this weight number go down. We want the skeletal muscle mass to go up, and we want the percentage of body fat to decrease. This gentleman is in good condition, so there's no change that need to be made. So that's the beauty of that. So if you don't live in the area, just Google InBody 570, real important because that measures the visceral fat near me, and that will, or reach out to us afterwards in the chat. We can, give you a link to go look for one. It'll cost you 45, 50 bucks to do it, but it really well worth it. And I wanted to do a before and after, because the before and after is really important. So we want to track that. We do that in the office to track the fat loss and maintaining muscle. And so sometimes, if a person gains muscle and they lose fat, their weight relatively may stay the same, as in the case of this gentleman here. You can see here his weight really actually went up from when he started, but look at his muscle mass from when he started. And look at his percentage of body fat. It was higher and now it's lower. And this would be an athlete you're seeing here, not a typical patient. Now, toxicity questionnaire, I'll give you a link at the end. And if you don't have it, we can send it. It was I don't know if it was in the email. If not, we'll send it out. If you've not done a purification before, the toxicity questionnaire is a real eye-opener, because things that you don't think are important are, like candles, plug-ins, getting your gel nails done, getting your hair dyed. Those are all things that affect us. So it measures all that. If if you have a hobby where you're, building model airplanes, if you're a golfer, all those things are exposure to toxins. So in 21 days, what can happen? So we'll be able to address toxins. Some of you have never done this. Some of you have done in the program before, which is awesome, but it'll help you maintain a healthier weight. We're teaching you a healthier lifestyle, so it'll give you a set plan. And as humans, we just do better with a plan, and we have some accountability. So that's the whole purpose of this. You're welcome to fly into the class if you want, or drive over for the class. I do feed you in person. It's hard for me to feed you online. It would be not fair to eat in front of you. But I make organic food for everybody every week. So it'll give you more energy and improve your digestion. And for me personally, I think the key thing is I have laser focus. I can work on a project. I'm not distracted, and I love that. And that's one of the big things why I like to do the program. There is research when I teach in the community. When I teach other doctors and travel to do that, I have to back everything I say by science-based evidence. And this is one of the many research reports that they did for the standard process purification program. They used 28 patients, and they did the purification food log, and then they gave the supplementation, and they checked weight before and after, and their lipid panel. And they had a improved lipid panel from just the 21 days. So a lot can happen here. If you didn't get the purification guide, please let me know. I will send this out because I'm doing it a little differently. We're doing the supplementation different than the actual kit that they have on the standard process website. So I teach this, all the products for the company, so I know the value of it. And last year they came out with a product called GI Adsorb. And I included it in the program last year, and we had some really good effect from it. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I gave you on this, instead of having the book, you can download. You probably got the email link for the program guide that you can download. There's the food in there, but I did tweak it a little bit. So I gave you a shopping list because there's some foods that I took off, like bananas. Because if you're on a weight management program, we don't want bananas. They're too high in sugar. We want you to stick more toward berries. And as far as grains, a little bit of quinoa, a little bit of lentils. But if you're on a weight management program, if you leave those off, you'll be much more successful. So I know I sound mean. It's only for 21 days. Doesn't mean you can't not have them. But I find that if we can downplay those a little bit, you have much more success with this. Like I said, this is my 17th year teaching this. And I teach it to doctors to do in their offices. And this is the way I found it's the most successful. So there's 5 products we're going to use, and we're going to go through each of the products. So your kit will be SP Cleanse, the Veggie Pro Chocolate or Vanilla. And if you're ordering a kit, I would order 2 protein powders. Normally, I sell a kit with just 1 protein powder if they're local, because if you need another one, you can always come in and get one. But if you don't, and that way you already have it, and that way you don't have to wait. And I suggest getting 1 of each. That way you can play with the flavors. The GI Adsorb, the Gastrofiber, and the green food. So let's talk about all this. So the first one is the SP Cleanse. It has over 20 unique whole food and botanical ingredients. We call those phytonutrients. And the key and the thing that I love about Standard Process, they have their own organic farm. It's in Palmyra, Wisconsin, on a glacier, the most rich soil possible. They bought all the property around, so they surround the property so that they have a complete organic certification. They have insect barriers with birds, so they have areas where birds can be to eat the insects, and they have bees to pollinate. They hand pick weeds. They grow over 60 million pounds of their own produce for the product. If they bring it in from the outside, it goes through research and development, and it goes through a gas spectrometer so they can know that what's in that product is in the product. So that's why I use this. And when we talk about whole foods, I mean, there are whole foods in here that you're typically going to eat. And that's why we do it this way. But here's the key. One of my colleagues is a nutrition scientist. Her name is Dr. Chinmay Panda. And I did a podcast with her, and she said it so perfectly. She said, because I asked her, what's the difference between using a whole food supplementation or an isolate? Like you go to Publix and you buy a vitamin C and it'll say ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is one component of vitamin C. And all ascorbic acid comes from China. It's only one component. So if you have an orange, you have the whole component of that vitamin C. And they try to take the isolate out. So she said what that means is we have all these biochemical processes that go on in our body. Phytonutrients have the exact key to go into the lock of that biochemical process to unlock it so that it works properly. The isolate, it's like going to your Ace Hardware or making a key copy for your house, and you put it in the door, but the key doesn't turn. So it may fit in the lock, but it's not going to unlock that biochemical process all the way. So when my office, that's why I have a pharmacy of whole food supplementation in there, because I want the best for my patients. I don't want you to waste the money when you think you're doing the right thing. So that's why this is my passion. This is why I do this. So the SP Cleanse is really important. And the biggest thing that it's important for are the ingredients. And a Spanish black radish is the top dog on here. It is the one that has scientifically proven that it pushes the body into that phase 2 quicker. And they did some research-based evidence on it, and they challenged, I can't remember the number of patients, but they took, I think 100 patients here, 100 patients here, and they challenged them with acetaminophen. One group didn't take Spanish black radish. The other group took Spanish black radish in the amount that you're actually taking for the purification program. They challenged them by testing their blood and their urine before and after, and they could see that on the patients that, or the control group that was taking the Spanish black radish, that they could see the acetaminophen come out in their urine, and they could see the levels in the liver and the blood enzymes decrease. But the control group did not change and got worse. So we have science-based evidence that this really works. And those of you remember, we're not having any alcohol on here, and you know who I'm talking to. We have Oregon grapefruit for you, so you're kind of getting your wine in there. But these are all the things that are very important for making those biochemical processes happen. The Veggie Pro. So in my program, I use the Veggie Pro because I want extra protein. In this purification program, for the kit you would buy from Standard Process, there's SP Complete. I changed to the Veggie Pro because the first 10 days we eliminate animal protein because it's just is easier on your liver to do its clean out without adding the animal protein in. So this has vegetable or plant-based protein in the form of yellow pea, sesame seed, and pumpkin seed. So we're getting some of those branched chain amino acids that we need to build muscle. So that's why I like to use that. And you can have 4 scoops. I go kind of heavy scoop. That'll give you 4 scoops, 4 heavy scoops, just not the level scoop, will give you about 20 grams for that shake. So if you do 3 shakes a day, you get a good 60 grams of protein, not counting anything else you're eating for the day. You can add water to it. You can do nut milk with it, as long as the nut milk's not sweetened. You can do almond milk if you have a nut allergy. Of course, don't use nut milk. I prefer you not to use soy milk or rice milk or oat milk. I don't want any grain milk in there. So stick with that, and water is fine as well. You can mix it. We use a NutriBullet in our office, I mean at home, and that makes a shake really quickly. So you can add frozen fruit to it. Maybe if you're going to do a frozen fruit, do a berry. We use organic blueberries because we can get them here locally. I'll give you that information later. And then I put some frozen spinach, and we put chia seeds and flax seeds and all that. And you don't have to be that fancy. And then we blend it. But you can see the shaker bottles on the side there. They have a ball inside, and you just add your milk and your powder to it. I add ice on top of that before I put the lid on. Make sure the lid is closed all the way, and then shake it. The ice prevents the powder from sticking to the roof of the blender bottle. So this is the reason why I use the Veggie Pro. So you can see the ingredients, but really important for the biggest one is the pumpkin seed protein. It's hard to be vegan and get enough protein, complete protein. We have 9 essential amino acids that we need to have, and we don't make, and we can only get them from animal source. We can get some of them plant source, but not all of them. The key one in here is the pumpkin seed protein because it has the branched chain amino acids, isoleucine, leucine, and valine, which are the ones that help build muscle. That's why this is really important, especially when we're doing the purification program. So I want to do that. And it gives you all these other benefits on here. The next one is the GI Adsorb. Now, this is a new product last year, or the year right at the end of the year before. And so I added it in my program last year. So you'll take this at night. If you got a kit and you're waiting for your GI Adsorb, it's okay. It'll be coming in. If you're coming to the office to pick up a kit, we will have it by the 18th because I know people that are getting our back order to us quicker. GI Adsorb, very important. It has clineptolite, and that is a mineral that comes from the sea in a form of what we call a zeolite, and it's an absorbent zeolite. So when we take it at night. You'll take 4 capsules. And it's a 28-day. So after you finish the program, or if you didn't get it till the middle of the program, you're just going to take it for the whole 28 days. And we'll talk about that later. But the importance of this is you take it at night, and any of the toxins we're eliminating, it will grab them and take them out even more quicker. And so this is what the beauty of this. And part of the reason that it's back ordered is because I've been talking about it when I teach doctors, and now other doctors are adding it in. So all my fault. So sorry about that. But it also has chlorella, it has Colensania root. And in functional medicine, we use things like Colensania root for hemorrhoids. So if all of you are a bunch of pain in the butts, we're going to get you all situated here. Green food is going to be used the 2nd and 3rd week. And it's really important because it really helps with the liver enzymes. It's great antioxidant, but overall has those phytonutrients that are really important. One of the big things you hear now is glutathione. Well, glutathione is actually propagated in our body by cruciferous vegetables like Brussels sprouts and kale and broccoli. So these are important. And sometimes these are foods that patients just don't eat. So we put it in a capsule. But this is also helpful for clearing out toxins in the body, helps with cholesterol metabolism, and things like buckwheat. Most people don't go out and eat buckwheat, but this helps to increase muscle mass because it helps you extract the protein better from your food. So we have a lot of benefits from it. Also, barley grass, we're not really going to eat or drink that. Some people do. Great antioxidant activity. It gives you some minerals because the minerals come from the soil. Alfalfa is another one. We're not really going to eat that, but they juice the alfalfa and put it into the product. I've been on the farm when they harvest it and they put it in a machine and you get to be in there. It's really neat. And the smell is just amazing. It's just so, you feel healthier just breathing that in. So we use it for indigestion and for just ridding body of toxins as well. So these plant sources, we've known this for years and years and years, but we do things like that pharmaceutically now, which kind of defeats the purpose. Now, in your kit, you will always, I say gastrofiber. Whole food fiber is okay. I like gastrofiber the best because it helps to maintain your blood sugar level. It helps to maintain the healthy lipid level. It also helps with encouraging regular elimination. And when we talk about regular elimination on the detox, this is not going to make you have to sit by the toilet. I explain it that maybe the first week, because you're cleaning everything out, you may have voluminous bowel movements, as my brothers would call them, the double, triple, double flip, triple curl. And then you look in the toilet and you go, oh my gosh, that came out of me. And then after the weeks 2 and 3, you'll eliminate less because you're eating food you're actually absorbing in your body and you're just eliminating the fiber. And the beauty of that, that fiber helps to feed our large intestine, which is where our gut health is. That's where our immune system is. And it also makes 95% of our serotonin, which is for our brain. So patients that are depressed, the first thing we do is work on digestion. So this is really good for digestion, and it has a little bit of prosymbiotic, which is a pre and probiotic. So it helps to support you that way as well. And then the SP Detox Balance. I currently don't have any patients doing that. I like to talk about it. I don't use it because it's a powder only. And I find that I don't get the absolute best response like I do with the 21 day. So I opt it to patients that maybe can't tolerate supplementation. And if you have trouble swallowing the capsules, dump them in your shake. I'm okay with that. So we'll go past that. So the other products I have in, so I tell patients if they're currently on a protocol with me, some things I'll tell you is they ask me if you need to know, but if you're taking a multi like Catalin or Ligoplex 2, or you're taking cod liver oil, fine. If you're taking turmeric, fine. You can continue taking those. Everything else you can step away from while you're on it. Give your body a kind of pause and let your body have a little rest from that. I know it sounds kind of weird, but the first week it's no animal protein, but I will allow whey protein. So we have whey protein. I personally add it to my shake just because I want a little extra protein. So it's just easily assimilated in the body. It's not hard to digest, and it's not hard on the liver like animal tissue. I know that sounds gross, but like having a steak or a piece of chicken. So cod liver oil. If you have sugar cravings, Gymnema is a godsend. So we can get you set up with some Gymnema. It will actually curb those sugar cravings. When I teach doctors, I don't do it to patients because I don't want to give you crappy chocolate, but I have them suck on a Gymnema and then swallow it. And then I give them a Hershey Kiss, and you can't even taste the sweet. It just tastes like oily, chocolatey stuff. It's not even sweet. So it really curbs that. So if you need something like that, let me know and I'll get you set up with that. And prosymbiotic, you don't really have to do that right now because I'm giving you enough right now to support your gut flora, but maybe something after we may need to add that in. So what doesn't work on this program is eating like that on the left, eating as little possible. No. We need to have foods that are nutrition rich and fiber dense. The only challenge is that first 10 days, no animal protein. And here's my caveat. If you feel like you cannot do this program because you can't have a piece of chicken or a piece of fish in that first 10 days, have it. I personally add in some free range eggs because I want a little more protein, and that's what I do for me. So it's okay. But I don't do any chicken or fish or grass-fed beef or anything until after day 11. I start that. All right. So the journey begins. Here we go. Days 1 through 10, you'll have unlimited raw vegetables, particularly your green leafies. Limit your fruit and berries for the best choice. I really like twice as many vegetables as fruit. And like I said, if you're going to do a fruit, I want it only in the shake. I don't want you to munch on fruit because people think, oh, fruit is so healthy. Well, fruit has sugar in it and it has fructose in it. And guess what organ has to manage fructose? That's right, the liver. And that's why we get the belly fat. So even though fruit is good for us, we want to stay with berries and things like that because they're lower in the glycemic index. They have less sugar in them. I'm going to limit your lentils and quinoa to half a cup cooked per day. That's the only amount I'll allow you. And if you are on a weight management program, if you want to lose weight on this, it's not what the program is for, but it's just one of the side effects. Limit the lentils and the quinoa. Because my patients will go, oh, I can have that, and they eat too much of it. And they're upset because they were eating bananas and grapes and quinoa and lentils, and they didn't lose any weight. So if you're trying to lose some weight, avoid those. I want you to have spring water, mineral water, Swiss water decaf. In the email I sent out, I use No Fun Joe. You can get that on Amazon. I even make it in a French press just to make it special. And it's one of the best tasting I've found. You can't use your fancy bad creamers. I will allow you to have an organic whipping cream because you could do an MCT or a bulletproof coffee, which is butter and MCT oil. And instead of doing that, I will allow you to have some organic whipping cream. That's the only dairy I'll let you have because it's all fat. So you can have that. But if you're going to use a sweetener, you're going to have to use monk fruit or stevia. I want you to use your high quality oils, your EVOO, which is your extra virgin olive oil, your avocado oil, your coconut oil, and I want organic, and I want expeller pressed, which if you go to Publix and you see Luann's coconut, it's cheap because it's hydrogenated, so don't buy that. And make sure you look at your extra virgin olive oil because I can't remember the name of the one, begins with a B. It's mixed with vegetable oil, which drives me crazy. So make sure you get a good brand of extra virgin olive oil. So research before you buy a big bunch of it. I just got a source. I'll look into it and let you know what that is next week. And then exercise. I say at least 45 minutes, at least 4 days a week. I prefer you to do something every day. 3 to 4 days is your minimum. If you do something every day and you miss a day, it's no big deal. But if you're only doing something 4 days a week and you miss a day, it's only 3 days. And if you're doing something only 3 days a week and you miss a day, that's only 2 days. So I really rather you do something a little bit every day. And then day 11 through 21 will be different. So we're not doing any animal protein, but at day 11, you can add that protein in. Remember, day 1 through 10, if you don't think you can make it without having a piece of chicken or a piece of fish, if you're going to do something, add just those two. Stay away from the beef or eggs. Go for it. Just don't overload with it. Just add it in a little bit as needed. All right. So day 1 through 10, here's your dietary regimen. Unlimited fresh vegetables. So average serving size is a half a cup. You can have up to 15 cups a day. That's a lot. That's like 8 heads of broccoli by the time you add all that up. Eat twice as many vegetables as fruit. I will say that repeatedly. Eat organic as much as possible. You can eat it raw, you can stir fry it, you can roast it, you can saute it, you can lightly steam it. No dried or canned veggies. Frozen is okay. Try to eat the rainbow so you get more nutrients. Eat high water and high fiber foods. So when you're eating those leafy greens, anything that has a skin to it, and you eat the skin, that's really a high fiber. Your gut bacteria love that. It also loves sugar, which is not so good. And then try some new foods. And why do we choose organic veggies and fruits? Because you want to buy seasonal and buy local. In Florida, we have that. Up north, it's a little more challenging. The produce is fresher because it hasn't been transported all over the world. You get something from the local grocery store and the lettuce or spinach lasts like 2 days because it's, hauled all over the nation. You buy it locally and it'll last you 2 weeks. Organic farmers are passionate about their soil. They use natural predators for insect maintenance. They use compost to do to fertilize all their veggies. We use hydroponic tower at home. We usually start it in about March, and that gives us our lettuces, and we can walk out kale and lettuce and herbs right off the tower. So that's a fun thing to do. It does lack. We put nutrients in the water, so it does lack the soil, and so it doesn't get the minerals from the soil. We're actually putting those minerals in the water, and it's not the same as getting a plant that's grown in the ground. So there is that, but you're still getting a quality product. We have citrus fruit here in our house, and we have bananas, and we grow this without pesticides. Our beehives are not active now, but we do that for pollination and the honey for after the purification. And really, drum roll, we do it because they taste better. If you get a regular carrot and you get an organic carrot, the taste is dramatically different. So you can have salads, and as many salads as you want, unlimited fresh vegetables, have at it. No pre-made dressings, because if you look in your refrigerator and look at some of those pre-made dressings, they have either high fructose corn syrup in it or soybean oil or some type of hydrogenated oil. So make your own. In that purification recipe book, there's a lot of great recipes in there. So look at that. And at the end of that, the cookbook, they go for Eat from the Rainbow, and they take all the vegetables and they go through and say what's in them, what nutrients are in it, and then they give you a recipe for that specific vegetable. So they have other recipes all through it, but at the end they just do that. So that's really cool because you can see the actual nutrient minerals in those particular vegetables. and why the colors are so different and important. You can use vinegars. Be careful with balsamics that you buy, like, here in town, we have a Mount Dora olive oil place. They sell this wonderful balsamics that they let you taste, but they're loaded with sugar. So be mindful of that. So make sure you read your labels. A red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, all great ones to add with your olive oil. And even for me, if I put a little avocado and some tomato on it, it's perfect. I don't need to add anything else to it. Fruits, half a cup equals 1 serving. I really want you to limit your servings to just for your shake. So I'm saying no more than 2 servings to 3 servings a day. If you have 3 shakes and you're putting your fruit in it, that's what you can have. If you're going to eat some frozen blueberries on their own in a half a cup, fine. If you want to put it in your shake, fine. So we're limiting you to a cup and a half total in a day. So be mindful of that. Eat organic as much as possible. King Grove and here in Eustis, they're not out yet. I'll let you know when they come out. But if you have a chance to go pick them up, they're amazing. No canned or dried fruits. You can have frozen fruit. And try putting a piece of avocado in your shake. It really makes it smooth and creamy, and you don't taste the avocado. If diabetic, definitely want to stay with those low glycemic index fruits, which are your berries, apples, and pears. Did I say this before? Eat twice as many vegetables as fruit. Really, this really assists in helping lose weight. Like I said, I'll have patients come in and they just made grapes and they would just grab a handful. Well, they're just really high in sugar, so we don't want to do that. So double. So if you're going to have half a cup of fruit, you have to have 2 heads of broccoli. So just keep that in mind. So if you don't want to eat all the broccoli, then you don't eat as much fruit. Now, the grains, half a cup serving, 1 serving a day, maximum. And I will say it again, if you're on a weight management program, if you want to lose weight, eliminate them or use them sparingly. You can cook them in organic broth and real butter, and that's perfect. So the oils and fats you can use, a serving size 1 teaspoon. I will let you use organic whipping cream. We use Organic Valley because it has no carbohydrates in it. If you use Horizon, it has 1 gram of carbohydrates. So I try to limit that. So you can use some organic whipping cream in your coffee, not your fancy, sugary, girly sweeteners. Okay, I mean, your whiteners of your coffee. So 4 to 7 teaspoons per day of good oils. And I'm okay if you go over that because we need those good oils in our body. Remember, cold pressed, unprocessed, or expeller pressed, organic, extra virgin olive oil. That's what EVOO stands for. Your coconut oil, your avocado oil, flaxseed oil, grapeseed oil, all those are great oils to use on salads and in your shakes. Butter, real butter. We use this Vital Farms, and you get this at Publix. We use the sea salted. Butter's better. So I found this, a kid did an experiment, and our ants smarter than us. They put margarine, reduced butter fat down, and they put natural butter down, and look where the ants went. They're not stupid. I mean, they are really, really intelligent. They're actually one of the most intelligent of insects compared to even to animals. Their brain is much smaller than ours, but you know what? They seem to make better choices than we do. The problem is that our choices desires are a little different. So ants eat to live and we live to eat. So your dietary regimen for your beverages, water, spring water, mineral. If you're going to buy water, do not buy purified water or distilled water. Your goal, if you drink 64 ounces per day, that's the best way I say for patients to do it, half your body weight in ounces. And that's, we want to really flush the body. Remember, if you're having a shake, you're going to have liquid in that. If you're having fruits and vegetables, you'll have water in that as well. So you don't have to stick to that exactly. You can have nut milk with no added sugar for the shakes only. It's not something to drink. You can have herbal teas. And yes, you can have green tea, even though it has a little bit of caffeine in it. The antioxidant properties in it are so beneficial. I don't mind if you have that. And you can see the milk nuts, almonds here. You can make your own almond milk. You take almonds and you put them in water and you blend it and you have, or you can take, so if you make almond butter, so you take 1/3 of a cup of almonds, a cup of cold water, and you mix it in your blender. and you can keep it in the refrigerator. If you take 1 tablespoon of that and mix it in water, guess what? You have almond milk. So you can do that. Elmhurst is a really good brand. It's hard to get. You can order it. It's just milk almonds. So you can use cashews. I don't care what nut you use. Macadamia nut milk is amazing. I found that in Mexico in the pharmacy. So I was really happy because I always take my shake with me wherever I go. Even when I travel to teach, I take a thing of organic or nut milk with me and my shake and my bottle. And that's my meal in the morning, always. Swiss water decaf. I use No Fun Joe. You can try a couple different ones. The importance about Swiss water decaf, and I let you have decaf on there. We're trying to get the caffeine out. We're trying to get the sugar out. We're trying to get the alcohol out. The caffeine, when they decaffeinate coffee, normally they use chlorine to do that. We're trying to detox. We're trying to get those chemicals out. The No Fun Joe is they use a process called Swiss water decaf. So they run it through a process which takes out the caffeine. So it's much healthier. And I tell you, the flavor of the No Fun Joe is great. And I tell you, it's my little ritual to do my French press, so I like it. And try to choose your organic sources. And No Fun Joe is organic as well, and sourced naturally. And this is, I love this. Food is medicine. It's the choice to heal and promote health that you can begin as soon as your next meal. That's how powerful that is. So here, and on your sheet that you'll get, if you didn't get it, we'll email it to the PDF to you. So reach out to us or email the office to the email that you got. We'll send that to you. I believe we sent it out. I'm not positive on that. I just kind of gave you some sample meal plans in there so you can look at that. We usually do our shake in the morning, and we do a blender shake in the morning because it's your bigger meal, and maybe a little bit of a snack, so maybe some pumpkin seeds because they're high in branched chain amino acids, so you get a little protein in there. Good salad with veggies and some avocado on there. That fat will help to keep you satiated. You can do a shake for a snack, and you can put it in your blender bottle and just put your almond milk in, your powder in, some ice cubes on top of that, shake it and go. I'll take one to work and have it to drink throughout the day because I don't really have time to sit and eat. And I also intermittent fast, which we'll talk about in the next couple of weeks. Having your dinner, that's that sample day 1 through 10, and then day through 11 through 21, we'll worry about that later. So at our house, this is kind of what we do. We do a shake. We use blueberries mostly. I'll put a little organic extract, and we usually use the Veggie Pro vanilla. It's a little more versatile when you're adding stuff. Carrot, we make our own guacamole. Those are our own veggies there. And then for dinner, we had sweet potato with roasted broccoli and sauteed yellow squash with a side salad. And then a shake for dinner. I usually do maybe 1 shake a day. Sometimes I'll do 2. I just heavy load with whey protein and the Veggie Pro when I do shakes. So I limit it to maybe 2. Rarely do I ever do. I never do 3. I just take what I would put in 3 shakes and put it in 2. That just works better for my schedule. So roasting your vegetables, you set your oven at 450. You don't want to use aluminum foil because if you can use aluminum foil to cover something to put it in the refrigerator. You don't want to cook with aluminum foil because it leaches the aluminum into your food. So use parchment paper, which is what we do, but then it was, we're wasting the paper. So you can order Silpat mats, SILPAT mat on Amazon. And there's silicone mats that you can cook on. So you put that down on your cookie sheet, and then you put your roasted vegetables on there. So we throw all our vegetables in, throw some extra virgin olive oil on there, some garlic, some onion, little salt and pepper, stir it up, throw it on the platter, put it in the oven for 450, and then you cook them as long as you like. If you want to do crunchy, you do that. If you like a little bit more cooked, do it that way. You can do all those. So I always make more so the next day I can have it for lunch or for a snack the next day. Sauteing vegetables, that's another way you can do it. You can use your real butter. You don't want to use regular butter. And the difference between the organic butter, it's because the butter comes from grass-fed cows. And you get a lot of nutrients from the grass that the cows eat and the photosynthesis that happens in the grass when it grows. So we get a lot of benefits from that. And then soups, you have some recipes. If you go to the Bay Street Wellness website, you can find these recipes on here. This is one of my favorite ones to make. So give these a try. This is really good soup weather. I made a carrot ginger bisque this past weekend that I make for class next weekend. And it was just lovely with organic carrots. It was delicious. And then making your shake here, I just kind of put this in here. You can use coconut milk or any unsweetened nut milk. I add a little bit of water to that as well. My 4 scoops of Veggie Pro. This is one of my shakes that I call my green goddess. I put a teaspoon of hemp hearts, a teaspoon of chia seeds, a teaspoon of flax seeds. I squeeze a little bit of I put a little frozen organic mango in, half a cup, because I only do one shake that's blender, so I don't put fruit on my rest of my cup, my shakes. A handful of frozen kale, and then blend it. It's perfect. You don't taste the kale and you won't taste the spinach. So if you have spinach in a bag and it's starting to go bad, I just toss it in the freezer. And then once it freezes, then you can just break off a piece and put it in your shake. That works really well. And like I said, you don't taste it. We use a NutriBullet at home because it really breaks up all the blends it really smoothly. A regular blender, okay. Ninja, great. Blades are hard, sharp, and hard to clean. The blade on the NutriBullet comes, you screw it on the top of the container, turn it over, put it on it, and turn it off. You take it off, and you can easily wash it. If you have a Vitamix, you are my hero, and someday I'll have one of those. What to avoid? When in doubt, avoid anything not listed on your program guide. It's vitally important. So don't call the office and say, can I have? If it's not on that list, and like I said, we'll get that printed list to you, you can't have it. No margarine, spreads, corn oils, vegetable oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, any hydrogenated oils, and that includes canola oil, who we've been told that it was good for us. You're not going to use them ever again after this. You can either give it to somebody you don't like, pour it on your weeds in your yard, and recycle your bottle, but you're not going to use those again. Caffeine and alcohol, none for this program. Coffee, tobacco, or other stimulants. No soft drinks. No, I'll let you have a little bit of nuts, but once again, just be mindful of the portion size. You can have a little black bean, it's on your list. You can have a little bit of chickpea. So if you want to buy the chickpea, like chickpeas in the can, make sure your can says BPA free, bisphenol A. It's a endocrine disruptor. So if the can says that, it'll say it right on there, BPA free, you can get that. So the chickpeas, you can drain them and you can roast them. They're a nice crunchy snack. No processed or refined foods. We're going to get back to eating like we should. No dried or canned vegetables or fruits. And no cured, smoked, or any luncheon meat, because they're high in sodium nitrate, and we will talk about that. And definitely no spam. Week 1, supplements. So I know it sounds like a lot, and it is, but there's a reason for that. So your body needs it. We break it up into 3 times per day. So we have little dishes we keep ours in. They're actually little soy sauce dishes we use for sushi, but they're the perfect size to put them in. We just stack them up at home. We have little portable containers to take them with us when we go to lunch and when we do that. So during the first week, you're doing it 3 times a day. So that's when it comes into play. When you're doing it twice a day, you can do it morning and afternoon, or morning and evening. So for the first week, 2 to 3 shakes. You're having 7 SP cleanse 3 times a day. Yes, that's 21. Then you're having 3 gastrofiber 3 times a day. Yes, that's 9, and 21 equals 30. 30 capsules a day. But wait, there's more. At the end of the day, before you go to bed, away from any prescription medication that you take. So if you take prescription, like blood pressure medication, you're taking it in the evening, take it earlier, and take your GI Adsorb, 4 of them with a full glass of water before you go to sleep. And that'll pull all that stuff out. If it's too close to that time, it'll render your blood pressure medicine inert. So just make sure they're spread away from that, a good 3 to 4 hours. Then it has time to activate, and then the body can take care of the toxins from that. So if you don't want to swallow the capsules, I load them up 2 by 2, line them up and take them down. And I usually do them with my shake. I just have always done that for the past 17, 18 years now. So you can do it that way, or you can dump the contents in there. I will say that SP Cleanse with the Spanish black radish, it's not so tasty. So if you want to try it, but just, this is conditioning. This is part of your accountability, and this is part of your plan. So it's really important to add that in there. So you can see our little dishes we use there. So that's probably, and that's my other supplementation that I use. I add a couple things in that I like to use, even though I'm doing that. But I do give a pause for some supplements. And exercise. Did I say that before? Yes. So I really want you to do that cardio, good for walking. And, you can walk, it's simple, you don't need any equipment. But I also would like for you to do some type of strength training, even if you're grabbing some dumbbells and doing some bicep curls, some shrugs, something for your triceps. Because if you're not walking on your hands for your exercise, you need to do something for your upper body because your lower body gets more exercise. And we can talk about that later on. We'll have workouts and all that. So your goal is to do that every day, minimum 4 times a week. And other ways so you can help, make the most out of your program is do some lymphatic drainage massage, yoga. That breathing is very helpful. Meditation, very helpful. Epsom salt baths, infrared sauna. If you have them, a couple of our patients last night have infrared saunas, which is too cool. Sleep is very good for healing our body and staying hydrated. Really important. At home, we use a bottle called Zulu, and I like it because it's not very big and round. It's tall, but you can unscrew the bottom and you can unscrew the top, and it's stainless steel, so you can clean all the way through. Because I'm a nerd about that. And then you can screw the bottom on, and the top has a silicone mouthpiece, so it's antimicrobial. And then you can lock it, and so it doesn't spill. So I'm notorious for that. But that's another way to kind of record how much you're drinking. Okay. Here's the plan of action. Your start date will either be tomorrow or Thursday, whichever works best for you. If you feel like you've got enough vegetables and you're ready to go, you can give it a start tomorrow. If you feel like you kind of need a day to organize now that you know what you're doing, start on Thursday. We'll all end around the same time, so no worries. If you go online and look for 2024 Dr. B's 21-day purification program, I have a private group. Just ask to be invited to it, and I'll get you in there. And I'll put all that. We can talk about recipes and all that. So if you're already a friend of mine, I think I've already sent you an invite. So we'll start adding to that starting today. But I do have some recipes in there, and the program guide is in there as well. Read your program guide. Go online if you want to look at the program guide that Standard Process has. Look at the recipe book as well. If you want to take the toxicity questionnaire, I can send the link to you. If you've taken it before, you don't need to take it again. Your next classes will be the 16th, the 23rd, the 30th, and same time, same station. If you miss a class, I'll send this recording on the Facebook page, and I will also send it out in the email to the practice. So you'll get it some way or another. You can download that cookbook, so give you some ideas. Make a list of questions for next week if you have them. Make sure you have some type of blender and a shaker and a blender bottle. So something to make a blender shake, and a blender bottle with a little metal ball in it. Purchase 3 to 4 veggies at a time, because you may not like those, or you may like them too much and then you get tired of them. So we always kind of switch. Your taste will change on this. And be prepared. Chop your veggies ahead of time. Have some snacks or some seeds for some fruit or some snacks, like pumpkin seeds, or make a shake your snack. Put your fruit in your shake. And if you have some blueberries and you don't put them in you can't put them in your shake then. So I save it for the shake, unless you're going to do only 1 shake a day. So see you next week. And if you don't take care of your body where you live, that's my mantra. And I love this quote, just makes me giggle. I really regret eating healthy today, said no one ever. So we'll see you next week, and we'll be back here same time, same station.